soon.
Oh, man. No. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Huh? It's me, Ricardo Mejias. We're back here for Callback Radio. Thank you. All those applause. It's all warranted, you know. And I have a special co-host for tonight, Mr. Ryan McGlunup.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan, for joining me. And we have a very special guest, a Canadian comedy legend. Hey, why not just say comedy legend, right? Mr. Kenny Robinson.
Well, better keep it Canadian. Nobody in America knows who the hell I am. So, you know, don't try to give me a bigger pond than I can swim in.
Kenny, I'm so thankful for you joining us tonight on Callback Radio. It is a pretty big honor for me, and I think for a lot of comics to hear from you. I don't know. I don't really get to talk to you that much, to be honest with you. But this is just
That's
a thrill.
because you always called me the old guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's seeing you whispering, what's that old guy doing here?
Yeah. What is he doing? Stealing our spots for? No.
He's out here.
Yeah.
Kenny,
Kenny, I'm so thankful. It's Halloween season going on too. I don't know do you believe in ghosts at all, Kenny?
I believe in the Holy Ghost.
There we go.
I believe in Jesus. I believe in
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but
Yeah.
I think when I was shooting my TV show After Hours back in 2001 at the Masonic Temple, a couple of times when I went down, I stayed late to tear apart the script. This is no good, and all my writers had left 6 hours earlier. But this is my one shot, and we're gonna blow it. So I'd go downstairs to get a Coke out of the machine, and I felt like a whoosh, or saw like whoom, something, which was my career.
Oh,
but
gosh.
I thought it was a spirit or a ghost or something.
Yeah. Kenny, let's just ask you this: where did you start? Because I hear stories like you started after Evan Carter and Simon Rakoff, and then I think you came a few years later. Is that correct?
I probably started about the same time as Evan and those guys, but I didn't start in Toronto. I started in Winnipeg, then I moved to Chicago, where my mom and my brother were living.
Oh, wow!
So I was doing comedy in Chicago, and but then I heard about this Yuck Yucks thing.
Yeah.
So I was in Winnipeg because that was the only place I could get a steady 40-hour-a-week job for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I went there, and I'd been. Oh, actually, in Chicago, I was taking acting classes and doing all the open mics. They call it showcase clubs.
Okay.
Where they paid you $3 a spot, but you had to do 4 spots a week in order to get your money. But you could hit 3 or 4 clubs a night.
Yeah.
You could make $12 a night back in the day. So
that's American dollars too, right?
U.S.
Yeah.
But I was spending U.S., so it wasn't like I was getting exchange. So the first gig I got that paid any money was like $75. I was emceeing for a strip show at a Lions Club type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So with my $75, I stopped off and bought like a dozen donuts for the family. I'm not a freeloader now. I'm an earner. And so then I was taking acting classes at Goodman School of Theater. And then I got work as an extra. So I was working on Blues Brothers.
Oh, my gosh.
So I forced myself to go talk to Dan Aykroyd. So a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, some guy that said, I'd take 3 pictures for $10. So I gave a guy $10. He took 3. We didn't have selfies then.
Yeah.
So I had to get these 2 Polaroids of me talking to Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
So I told him I was from Canada, and I told him I didn't know if I should move to Las Vegas or Toronto. And he said, Toronto? You don't go to Vegas unless you're established.
Yeah.
So I came here. And damn that Aykroyd. But, sure, he just wanted another guy to buy his lousy wine 30 years down the road. That's why he set me up for that deal.
Yeah. And his vodka as well. Crystal
his vodka
Skull.
too. Yeah, that's expensive stuff. But, So when I arrived here,
Yeah.
Evan Carter was already a headliner and what have you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've only heard like you came like a little bit after these guys, but maybe it's because they already started and you were just starting in Chicago.
I was in Chicago
Yeah.
and I was trying to make comedy happen in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And, I get these gigs where the guy would give me $50, but I had no other acts but myself.
Yeah.
There's me or one other guy.
Yeah.
And, somebody else had 4 minutes, so there I was trying to make, $50 worth of show.
Yeah.
And, I said, damn, done my 16 minutes. What am I going to do now? Impressions. Ah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Did you ever go for the Second City out in Chicago or no?
I took, Aykroyd said get Second City, and then one of the guys that took me under his arm, a guy named Jim Fay, he was, they started a whole different Second City company around his touring group called the Original Chicago Comedy Rangers.
Oh, wow.
So Jim Fay said to me, "Get in Second City." So I got to Toronto, and Yucks didn't want anything to do with me. In fact, they tried to hurt my feelings and make me leave. So I said, "Well, I'm not leaving." So I took the Second City classes.
Yeah.
But I think I took 2 sessions. And on the 3rd session, they were calling me at work. When are you going to make your payment? So I kind of dropped out of Second City then. But a guy I met, Kenny Comanos, R.I.P. Kenny.
Yeah.
He used to MC these wet T-shirt contests in all these bars.
Yeah.
So, and that paid $100
Oh.
every Tuesday night,
That-
every Wednesday night. Nobody at Yucks was making
Yeah.
$100.
Better than $13 you were making at
Man, I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
So I had a day job, but I
Yeah.
socked away. I wound up buying this full-length raccoon fur coat with my wet T-shirt money. So the whole idea was, I had to get women up to compete. Then the guys
Yeah.
would pay and bid to spray.
Yeah.
And of course, the chant was "skin to win,"
Oh.
so they couldn't leave your shirt on. They
Yeah.
wanted skin.
Yeah, yeah.
But before they got the wet T-shirt, I made them listen to whatever new material I wrote that week.
Yeah.
So they're going, "Oh man, this guy and his jokes. When is he just going to bring the girls on?" So I said, "When I finish these jokes,
Yeah.
So I was pulling down $200-300 a week doing
Wow.
wet teas, and then still working a day job as a courier and a mailroom guy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like that's a very old school thing. Working at like strip clubs and like clubs
They were
like
rock
that.
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the strip clubs had already. Well, actually, I did see there was one ad. They used to advertise in the Sun for wanted for comedians or bands.
Yeah.
So there was a strip club that wanted an MC.
Oh.
So I thought I'd go up there and do it like those Las Vegas strip club
Yeah,
MCs and the movie Lenny. But no, a strip club MC is coming right up. But first, let's go to the shooter bar. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's just like the DJ in the booth.
Yeah.
yeah. So it wasn't gonna work out for me.
Yeah. Oh, because I only hear like type of stuff from like Don Rickles and stuff like that, like them working at strip clubs early in their career. I guess that was like a.
I was the last of the last. So after
Yeah.
the last strip club guy died, there was like wet T-shirt
Yeah.
contests, and I was like the last of the wet T-shirt contest guys.
Oh, what a gig that was for you though.
That
$304.
sounds
Yeah. yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was allowed to give away booze to get the women up to get
Oh, there you
so I
go.
get the women all drunk to get them. They're lifting their tops. And the owner, try not to give away my club tonight, will you?
Yeah.
Because hey, you want more drinks? So
I now I want to ask you because you're so you have such a great show. How did the Nubian come around? Since Yuck Yucks didn't want to take you.
Oh,
at
they
the beginning?
took me in I've been with Yucks, I don't know, since I guess 82, 83. The Nubian show didn't start till 95, so I'd already done Just for Laughs
Yeah.
and had Now Magazine twice
Yeah.
to cover. And so I was already a bona fide ass kicker by the time that the Nubian show started. But when I started it, well, first of all, it was after the LA riots. And I was a little bit more militant with my blackness. I'm blackety, 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 black.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your name? My name is Black. So pretty light-skinned guy for black. But, it works out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find yourself up there, you're not a low rider, but being
No.
up here in Canada
Yeah.
will make you drop your pants down to, and make you do up that top bottle.
Yeah.
Where's my cholos? It'll get you acting more than you would
Yeah.
normally.
Yeah.
Being not white in a white environment.
Yeah.
So, Before the Nubian show, there was only myself, Ronnie Edwards, Gene Clark, Greg Morton. I think Orson Payne had just got it started. And then Russell Peters was just on the outskirts coming in. So between Def Jam and then I did some shows with Paul Mooney when Mark brought him up for a festival that he had. And then I did a show at the Opera House with myself, Ronnie, and a woman from Buffalo. And it was the first time, and then 3,000 or 4,000 hip-hop acts, in between us.
Yeah.
So it was the first time working to a predominantly black audience in Toronto. And every time I did something about the culture, they went nuts. When I talked about racial profiling, when I talked about when the cops pulled Drummond, who's now on CBC News at 6, they pulled him over and had him and his friend at gunpoint get down in the street because the reports of gunshots. Meanwhile, they had just gone to that place over there at Spadina to get some roasted chicken, So you get away from that way, boy, if you know it's good for you. So I was talking all about that, and then Chris Rock came to town another year, and I got the opening for him, and they didn't know how to advertise Chris Rock, so they advertised him as the black guy from Saturday Night Live. But he had just gotten fired from Saturday Night Live. So, and he was cool, but he was standoffish and kind of shy, and he just said, where the girls at? and I said, well, there should be an after party at the suite at the I forget the hotel that was at Wellesley, at Sutton Place. So I was thinking, well, maybe some of the waitresses from the club will come down for Chris to meet. Chris was thinking these fast action New York, LA backstage kind of girls, I guess. Right? He wasn't waiting for, what's that redhead girl's name that with the funny eye? He wasn't waiting for what I was hoping for,
Yeah. Did he ever get starstruck? Because you mentioned Paul Mooney, and did you because he was, I guess, such a big influence for.
He was an influence on Pryor, therefore he was an influence on me. It was an honor, it was a thrill, and he kind of whooped me a little bit.
Oh no.
But he said I liked it. As the week went on, you stopped sugarcoating your stuff. You started bringing it real. So, and the last thing anybody had ever accused me of before was sugarcoating. So I said, damn, he must think I'm a real nothing. So, so working with, and then the next time I worked with him was like 10 years later, and his health wasn't the same, and he didn't remember me, and I didn't sugarcoat nothing that night then. But Mooney was a big, but I also got to work with Kennison before he made it big, and so, of course, when I first came to town, I had a roommate. We lived on a place, 1520 Bathurst, I think it may have been. But upstairs, Jim Carrey lived.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Before he left for L.A., but he was still doing the impressions in the wearing the tuxedo with the shiny shoes and all that. So when I started in Chicago, Emo Phillips, his name was Phil Kidney, but before that, Phil Sultanic, I think is his real name. Then Phil Bufka, then Phil Kidney, then Emo Phillips. So he's changed. Also, there was a comic that was a big influence on me named Orlando Reyes, R.I.P. And Jim Fay, the other one, R.I.P. Everybody's R.I.P. now. Jim told me, well, instead of idolizing Orlando, you should go hang out with Doc.
Oh.
Well, Doc was the nickname for Arsenio Hall. But he probably wouldn't want to have nothing to do with me. But I didn't want to hang out with Arsenio because Orlando was cool. Orlando took you to gigs that was owned by the mob that started at 4 in the morning. And sometimes you got paid off in not currency.
Okay.
So it's funny. I wanted to hang out with Orlando so I could go. The one gig was called the Stay Out All Night Long Disco.
Oh, really?
And the show started at 3 o'clock in the morning. And years later, some of those guys we found in dumpsters. Hey, we told him not to talk. He was talking. And this kid, he was talking. I'm supposed to, I'm the comedian. And nothing. So you funny kid, huh? But that was trying to do comedy in Chicago.
God, that's scary stuff. Were you I'm assuming you must have pissed your pants after hearing some of this stuff like that. Like you've been hearing guys don't show up after. Like, hey, where's Tony? Well, Tony's gone for a
No,
little
because the
swim.
mob stuff never really affected us. But the saddest story ever that I have from doing comedy in Chicago,
Yeah.
I guess my first wife was like, 7 months, 8 months pregnant, and it's around Christmas time. No, she wasn't that pregnant. She was pregnant. But anyway, I did this gig, and there was this owner, and he let us, we could bring our dates, and he fed us steak.
Yeah.
And, and the gig was great, and he'd sit down and he'd talk to you about Lenny Bruce and
Yeah.
all these great comedians. And then I'm watching this thing on A&E,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying how the mob was shaking him down for money, and they told him, "You don't pay us, we're going to stick your kid's head on your fence." And he's going, "But what have I ever done to you? You ain't done nothing to me. I'm just saying, you don't pay me." So this guy was basically, they shook him down till he was out of business.
Damn.
And he was one of the most kindest, generous club owners I ever worked for, and he loved the art form.
Yeah.
But you can't mess with some things.
Yeah. That's scary. Yeah, that's terrible stuff, man. Like I would hate to be a club owner back in those days, man. Getting shaken down by the mob.
I don't know if it's any better now.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Chicago is still Chicago.
I know. And plus, we still get some club owners still get shaken down by the government or whatever, whoever. But
Some club owners are shaking you down.
yeah, it's true. They are.
Anybody you ever worked for there? Oh, okay. Not my guy.
Yeah. And for like the Nubian. Sorry, let's get back to a little bit of the Nubian, because you guys did celebrate 25 years.
We didn't even get to celebrate it.
Yeah,
Our celebration would have been in April, and COVID shut everything down in March. So officially, we have not celebrated. So I think this would be our 27th year.
No,
But the whole world shut down for 18 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think anybody was getting us a cake or anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter now in hindsight.
Yeah. But you did release an album. We'll talk about that.
I should have brought a copy with me. I only have 5,000 copies.
Yeah. We can post it on the website here on Frequency 5 FM. But you made a home for comics who are like unwelcomed in other parts of Canada. You like
Unwelcomed here.
That's true.
They ain't got to go to other parts of Canada to be unwelcomed. You can be unwelcomed right here in Toronto.
Yeah.
Basically, there, like I said, when we started, there were only maybe 4 or 5 comics of color in the entire country.
Yeah.
And then when I decided to call it the All Black Comedy Show,
Yeah.
I had a lot of the white comics. Well, what if we called it all white? How'd you like it? And I said, you don't have to call it nothing. Because if I'm not on it, if Ronnie ain't on it, if Greg Morton ain't on it, guess what that show is? All white. So, so you don't have to call it that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, even from our first show, we weren't all black because we had Brown. We had Russell Peters was on our first show.
Of course.
So from the very beginning, we really weren't the name, all black, but the whole idea was that, because I think someone suggested, why don't you just have like 2 black comedians and then the rest white? And I went, well, no, because, in order to get this black audience who comes like before, like, so for so many times, if there were like 5 black people in the audience, I used to laugh and say they're Ronnie Edwards comps.
Oh, yeah.
Because there wasn't a reason, or John Wing Jr. He said to me, don't black people like comedy? You never see them at comedy clubs. Well, that's because y'all talking about golfing and camping and stuff that, But when the Nubians came, we had these West Indian comics. They were talking about, a bun and cheese.
Yeah.
And, and they're going into patois, and the audience would lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And
it was different culture.
Yeah.
Culturally, it was different, and it was called for, and it was necessary. That's what I learned about when I did the shows at the Opera House, and then when I did the show with Chris Rock, and there finally got to be some black people in the audience. There was a market, and there was an untapped talent pool. So there were 2 things. There were people dying to hear a voice, and there were people dying to have a voice. It was perfect timing.
Yeah. And for you, like, how proud were you seeing some of these up and coming comics now where they are right now, like John Paul, Russell Peters, even Mark Trinidad Tricks, all these guys.
I wish I'd never done nothing. No, they're all working. I can come and I can come be interviewed by you. These other guys are making money somewhere. The other guys are working Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They're they're in the desert in an Arab country making money. They're in America. They're doing other stuff. And me, I'm happy I found a free spot, a free parking spot. Okay? I wish I never lifted a finger to help my brethren. Okay? That's what you want to hear from me? I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud because also it's excellence. You had to, if you weren't good, you used to get booed off.
Yeah, and I hear these stories of people getting booed off.
I'm sorry that the audiences got so soft that they don't boo.
I know.
Now guys will go up there high and think they can just treat it like an open mic. That's why I encourage the audience. Hey, now tickets have gone up $5 over the past year and a half. Got to make that money back from when we were closed. So I'm going to say, y'all pay $25 to get in. You pay $100 for 3 drinks. I don't know what you pay to park. If you got a babysitter, you spent $1,000 to come see this show. If anybody comes on stage and they don't act like they haven't prepared, or if they haven't bothered to find a clean shirt to put on, boo their ass. They're not showing you any respect. They haven't shown you the respect you showed them by coming.
Absolutely, they don't show the professionalism that you're there paying for. I won't have it.
I won't allow it.
Can I ask you about some of these people who've bombed before?
I want to know what's the fastest someone's ever been booed off stage.
That's a good question too.
That's legendary. There used to be a comic. He's in real estate now, and he used to call his middle initial was T. So I used to call him T&T. And Lou Eisen said T&T stand for that, and we're terrible. But anyway, he got his first time on. He did first 2 times. First time he did good. Second time they kind of went well. Third time they booed him. So came back the 4th time, booed him again.
Oh.
So I said, well, you can come back, just not for a while.
Can I come back?
Yeah. So brought him back maybe about 2-3 shows later. Introduce him. The dude ain't even stepped on the stage yet.
Oh, no.
And someone from the back of the room, oh, no, not that beep again. So him and anybody that's seen before, they started booing before he got to the mic.
Oh, no.
He goes, wait, y'all didn't... Did I mention I'm from Scarborough? Boo! So he never even got to the mic before they started booing. They were booing him based on previous experiences. And then one guy who's kind of a man about town, he had my cell phone number. It wasn't for this guy, it was somebody else. And my phone rings. I go, hello? He goes, get him off, Kenny. So, But that's in the great tradition of Detroit comics. In Detroit at at Coco's Comedy Club, what they used to do if they didn't like the act, everybody take out their car keys and just jingle their keys. Dave Mirage got the keys in Detroit.
Oh boy!
Next time you see Dave Mirage, ask him about the Detroit keys. Keys at Coco. He'll tell you. Oh yeah, that's how they. That's and that club was owned by some. Yeah. So I was just told if they ever hire you, which they wouldn't, but if they ever hire you and they told you this much and they give you less, don't argue.
Okay.
So and I asked another Detroit comic and they said, that's what you're told? I said, yeah. I said, oh yeah, don't argue. So
oh man!
But that club's no longer, so unfortunate.
I've heard stories about you just letting some comics just bomb though, and you're just letting them let it happen. Is it because you want them to crawl out of that bomb, or do you just want them to experience Nubian?
Different.
Different.
Okay. Sometimes I want to see if they can work their way out.
Yeah.
Other times they've been arrogant and cocky. And I say, this is what you get. And then sometimes I just want to see how ugly the crowd will get. You know, it's like, boo. Oh, no, we want them to be worse than this. You know? So sometimes, but I mean, John Paul and Trix and all those guys, they used to bet money on who was going to get booed.
I know.
So, I mean, if this is your first time and you see they're getting ready to bet if you're going to live or die, you know, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there used to be a doorman at Yucks that wanted to do the show, and he did it.
Oh, no.
And they booed him off, and, you know, and he was outside in the alley, and you know, there's no security for the rest of the night. He was in the alley, and he was crying, and all the comics were up there trying to console him and what have you. Then there are other comics that got booed off. Yeah. And I said, wait, you didn't finish your bit. Come on back here and finish. I said, y'all let him finish, okay? And they go, yay. So then, you know, so they let him finish. And then, you know, he leaves. I said, we should let him come back one day. And, you know, they're like, yay. He says, no day soon. They go, yay. You know, but I still pay everybody, even if they get booed.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's very honorable of you.
Well, no. If you're a doctor and I die on the table, am I going to write you a check? No, you get booed. You suck. You shouldn't get paid. That's like the point after a missed field goal in Canadian football.
Yeah,
me still paying you after you got booed. Not supposed to get booed. The job description is make people laugh. You made people boo, which made people laugh. So I guess I got to pay you.
Yeah,
but no, I mean technically, you know, the whole thing was I never discouraged the boos because you know, there's no reason for any. I could not afford because our talent pool was so shallow.
Yeah.
I could not afford for any of the comics to accept being mediocre.
Yeah.
So that's why when you look at anybody that was original crew, second generation, third wave, Nubian, they're all killers.
Yeah, that's true.
If you got Ron Jossel, he's not rolling up. Ron Jossel traveled the world now. He's got his own cruise.
Just got passed to the Comedy Cellar, too.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, Joss will come up with us. Jason Rouse is Nubian crew. But he's white. Yes, but Nubian crew. He learned how he cut his teeth and did them shows.
Yeah.
You know, Jerry D, I made him wait 3 years before I let him on.
Why did you make him wait?
I just kind of thought, like, well, if I put you on, then I can't put on the dude that calls himself Bolo. You know, if I gave Jerry a spot, that meant somebody of color wasn't getting a spot. So then I put Jerry on. Yeah. And Jerry did his bit about when he was a teacher and people that couldn't read. The bearer look at the honey. So so people are dying because he's funny. First off. Yeah. Okay. But second off, dudes is laughing at their friend sitting with him who can't read. So they're going, "That's you, man. That's you, dog." And people were dying because Jerry did what every comic's supposed to do. He made his stuff relatable. Yeah. So, but, you know, Jerry D loves to tell people how I put him off for 2-3 years.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like there's some resentment from some comics out there that we're not putting them on?
Man, that's like me having resentment towards every woman I've ever asked out that said no. You know? Yeah. Guess what? I ain't the prettiest and you ain't the funniest. So you can resent me all you want. Yeah. You know, go. Let me hear about you tearing up rooms. Let me see you tear up a room. This ain't an open mic. This the Nubian show.
It does put a lot of pressure on up and coming comics, though.
It puts pressures on all comics. Yeah. Mark Trinidad's still scared. John Paul. Everybody, because you never know if that crowd's going to not like you. Yeah. You grew up never being sure that your stuff ain't gonna. You know, I've had comics from Detroit come up before in the early days, and they'd kill, and you know, and bring them back, and then they'd bring a friend with to get seen so they could get booked, and the friend goes on and smokes the guy that brought him in the car.
Oh, wow.
So then that's a long, quiet ride back to Detroit.
Yeah.
If you take me to a gig, and I smoke you.
Yeah.
You know, you say, man, I was just trying to introduce you. I wasn't trying to lose my spot, man.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, yeah, I'm sure people resent me, and you know, let them resent. You know, who says you're supposed to get everything in life? I only got to do Just for Laughs Gala once. I've never done the Halifax Comedy Festival. So you didn't get to do my show?
Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up. You know, show me why you should.
Yeah. Absolutely. You got to prove yourself, right?
Prove yourself, or at least let me hear your rep. You know, Chris Robinson. I first saw Chris Robinson. I just popped in to look at some other acts one night.
Yeah.
And he was doing some stuff, and I'm going, oh, Jesus, my audience would kill him if they heard him.
Yeah.
He can't say that.
Yeah.
Because he's just out there.
Yeah.
Love him. He's raw.
Yeah.
So anyway, Chris was just hanging around the Nubian show 2-3 times. I see him, you know, just hanging, looking, watching, learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So show's 5 minutes away, and I see I'm missing about 3 comics.
Oh.
So I go, you ready to go on tonight? Huh? I said, you ready to go?
Yeah.
He said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he tore it up. And I said, okay, you on again. That's one of the things I love to do is just pluck somebody who didn't even ask.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to do your show. I'm here to look at the good-looking women, you know? Because Nubian got the best, prettiest, best dressed, everything happening.
I've been to a couple shows. There are.
Oh, man.
Everyone's dressed to the T's almost.
You know, so, but I mean, he went on and tore it up. You know, and there's been other people like, you know, one guy says, when can I get on? And I don't know who is he. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
And I said, you can't. First of all, I don't know you. Second of all, don't talk to me like this. And then one time at Spirits, a drunken blonde girl, she goes, I want to do your show.
Oh, God.
And I said, have you ever been to one? Have you ever seen it? No. And I said, oh. So no, you didn't. You didn't disrespect my show like that. How are you going to ask to be on something you ain't never been? You've never been to see.
Yeah.
You don't know what the audience is like. You haven't seen them boo.
Yeah.
I've seen them boo.
Yeah.
Lord knows I've seen.
Yeah. I haven't seen anyone boo, but I've seen them give a big applause to a fan show.
Fun show?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He guy travels all over Canada.
Well, yes, but he's funny.
Yeah, he is.
And he's
absolutely
well written.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then when he came up, my black name is Blump. So, you know, an Asian dude saying he's got a black name. How is that crowd not going to love him?
Yeah.
Once again, you make yourself relate to the audience. I've seen comics booed off for being blasphemous.
Oh.
So I didn't know that, you know, not everybody may go to church, but don't you talk bad about Jesus on that stage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Is there anyone that surprised you to like seeing them perform the first time besides Chris Robinson?
I guess a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, but I mean, in the earlier days before I had when I only had one child and she was being raised in London by her 2 moms, you know, I could go out to the clubs more and see more comics. But now I can't even go to an open mic to, you know, just to hang in the back and chill. Because I got every mutton head saying, oh, Kenny Robinson's in the room. Maybe I can get on the Nubian show.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going, no, you got a ball cap on and holes in your jeans. You know, so, and you haven't said anything about your favorite hip-hop artists.
No.
Now, first time I saw Paul Robinson. I mean, Paul Thompson.
Yeah.
Paul Robinson was a guy that all the girls used to love back in high school in Chicago. First time I saw Paul Robinson, I said, how come I'm not pretty like him? But first time I saw Paul Thompson, loved him.
Yeah.
How? You know, to this day, it's been over 5 years. It's been over 3 years since I first seen him.
Yeah.
He was just magical. I just loved his improv. I love the way he works that train of thought style of comedy. You know, so he's a guy that, you know, from the first time I seen him, you know, I said, Trix is another cat like that.
Yeah.
Little Kev. First time there was I booked a woman out of Philly and she brought Kevin Hart with her. You know, I said, well, she goes, can I bring an opener? You know, and I think he was probably her drive head.
Yeah.
So I paid him $125 or something to come up. And, he was like, the second before the final act. And then I said, okay, come on back and headline yourself. Then when he came back the next time, he brought Big J with him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then when they both cashed in their Canadian money to go home, they both cried all the way back. So next time Kevin came to Toronto, we flew him in because he was doing my TV show.
Oh, nice.
And I think it was the first time that he did sketch, or maybe even the first time he did television.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones, first time she did sketch was on my TV show After Hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Which I got her either from my friend Griff out of Atlanta or Mike Bonner, great comic out of Detroit. So that was before 9/11. I used to be able, when we didn't have enough Canadians to do this show, there's a great comic out of Detroit, Big Daddy Fitz. He told the story about how one time there was a shooting in a club and they brought him on and they hadn't even removed the body yet.
God. Oh, my God.
So Big Daddy Fitz, he'd say, say I had another act cancel on me.
Yeah.
So I'm calling every. Can you headline? Because there wasn't a whole lot of headlines.
Yeah,
So Fitz, where are you, man? I'm in Baltimore, dawg.
Oh.
And I said, oh. And I said, damn. He said, why? What's up? What's cracking? I said, I need a headliner for tonight. How far is it? I go, I don't know. So he says, it's about 9 hours. He says, I got some comics with me. Could you put a couple of them on stage? And I said, yeah, I'll put them.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if I can pay them all, but I'll.
Yeah.
So man, I put them all on stage. Gave them all. He opened up his. So he used to drive tank in the Army.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So, and he has size 13 shoe. He keep his 13 shoe on that gas pedal all the way from Baltimore.
Gosh.
And he rolled up to the club and he opened the door and 6,000 comics climbed out of his car.
Yeah.
Hi, this is food stamps. Hey, food stamps. Hey, I'm Michael B. Brandon Johnson. You know the kid that was in what's the one we never go full retard?
No, Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder. Okay, you know the kid that had the pimp shoes?
Yeah.
Okay, he was one of the kids
Oh.
that climbed out of that Cadillac that day. And then a year later, I'm watching him on TV after I told him, yeah, you can come back. I got another $100 for you one day, So, but, I think I might have gave him 20 to pay for beers or something,
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of these kids back then, it was before 9/11, so you didn't need a passport and a thumbprint and a blood type to cross the border there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so Fitz would pull up and, and he'd have guys that, his thing was to introduce these young comics to the road.
Yeah.
So they started going to Baltimore with them.
Oh, my God.
And before they got home to see Mama,
Yeah.
they went to Canada. So,
Oh, my gosh.
So they went from south of the Mason-Dixon line to north of the 49th parallel. I think that's our border line.
Yeah.
I'm not so good at geography, but I know it's a long ass drive.
Who's who has been the longest furthest person come to the Nubian? How far have they come?
Oh, well, we've had a friend of Russell Peters, a great comic out of England, Junior Simpson.
Oh, nice.
I've had comics from South Africa that they were up and they just made their way in from JFL and still kicking around. Let's see what Toronto's like. So I've had a couple comics from one or two comics from South Africa.
Oh, my gosh.
We've had comics from Barbados that were up for Barbados on the Water, and then they came to this show and they did their sketch stuff. There's a comic I just spoke to the other day on Facebook from Australia.
Oh, wow.
So, and of course we got from China. So,
Yeah.
But, and, comics from all over the States for the longest time would try and contact me. But the thing is I could never pay them the money that they were used to getting paid.
Yeah. Gosh, man. And,
but I mean, I had Dave Chappelle twice on the show. I can't get a ticket, but Chappelle was in town doing Half Baked.
Yeah.
So he'd come down the club on the Sundays.
Oh my gosh.
And he wouldn't even. I don't remember if I said, "Would you like to go on?" or "Can I get on?"
Yeah.
But, I said to him, I said, look, man, there's no way I could pay you what you're worth, but would you like a joint? Hell yeah. So I hand him my, thing that look. You ever see how them snakes eat like a hamster and they're all swollen in the middle and skinny at the ends?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how my joints are. So I hand him that. And he's like, damn, I shouldn't even tell a joke. This is what Mike Epps was in town filming. He did it. We had Tommy Davidson.
Did you ever have Patrice O'Neal come by or no?
Well, I could have had Patrice on my TV show, but instead we went with, was it Dean Edwards that was on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, yeah.
So, because somebody told me about marquee value. But I did a beer commercial, Miller's commercial they taped here, and Patrice is the comic they hired to use for it. So I talked to him. He said, I called my manager and I asked him, do you work a lot? No, because I'm ignorant. And, he was like very low key, and but he couldn't do what the producer wanted. The producer, you know how Chappelle was that character?
Yeah.
In The Nutty Professor? When
Reggie?
Yeah, they wanted that kind of comic, but they didn't know how to ask for it.
Yeah.
And Patrice O'Neal, that wasn't his style. Patrice wasn't going to roll that. So, could we get a little bit more energy from you? And he's like, what do these people want,
Yeah.
And I'm going, I know what they want, but, I ain't going to tell them.
Yeah.
Because I can't deliver that either.
Yeah.
But, I wish I'd... Russell Peters is very good friends with Patrice. He used to sleep on Patrice's couch when he used to go down to New York in the old days.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of guys I wish I got to know better, and I mean, in the past year, there's been some Canadian comics that have passed that I never met.
Yeah,
and that's because the older I got, the less the chain comedy clubs booked me, or I'd go on the road less.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to meet other headliners or other comics that were on their way up, or just cutting through.
A couple things. Do you feel like Canadian comedy history is just like doesn't exist? Do you feel like there should be like some sort of like
I'm glad you asked that question.
That shows so far. He's behind the guy. Sound guy.
Oh, is that him telling us that we got to wrap it up?
No. We got plenty of time.
I am now officially the president of the Canadian Comedy Hall of Fame. We're starting up. So, we'll be doing a big membership drive in a while. You got to get on this. Anybody got any interest in comedy? The first time we're getting off the bat, $25 for a lifetime membership.
Oh, sign me up.
And that includes, we were still trying to decide what we're going to give away, but it'll include like first call on tour shows, discounts and other shows. I think we should get Pandemic Max with the logo on it because it's cheaper than T-shirts. But we are working on that, and I can send you the information and you can plug it every week if you like. But we haven't done our official launch or anything yet. But there is going to be, and it's either going to be in Ottawa, Niagara Falls, or Toronto. So those are the three locations where I know everybody in the prairies, the Toronto thing should you come. Say, shut up. You guys got more gigs than we do. You just have to drive for 5 hours to get to each one of them. But in Niagara Falls, because it would make sense, because then the tourists would want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are gonna have people like the founding members of Second City. It's gonna be like going back to Wayne and Schuster. If you want to know your Canadian comedy history, Wayne and Schuster set the record for the most appearances on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh gosh.
And now I know there's people out there going, who's Ed Sullivan? And I go, he's the one that first let the Beatles on TV. And before him, Elvis. So Costello? No. So, but, Canadian comedy's weird. I mean, it seems like we're only proud of them if they leave the country and say, the hell with you. Like Jim Carrey, he went and got U.S. citizenship. I don't know if he gave up his Canadian citizenship. But
sure
you know, he's got dual citizenship, or at least he's got the U.S. citizenship now. There are so many great Canadian producers and writers that have gone down because our industry here does not create a star system.
Yeah.
Quebec does. But the rest of Canada, no. I mean, one year, would you say I'm probably well known in this industry in Canada?
I say so in Canada for sure.
One year, one summer, I made more money having yard sales. Selling the stuff I bought when I had a TV show than I did doing gigs that summer.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, somewhere in Scarborough, there's a kid that got a double VCR for $6. Talked me down from 20.
Oh, that jerk.
Well, it was 6 o'clock, and everybody says, they've been out here for 12 hours. Are they going to stay out there all day?
Yeah.
He must really need his rent.
Damn, man. Yeah, because I like hearing stories from like Simon, because I got to work with Simon Rakoff, and I got to hear some of the stories about like old comics. But I never really heard of these guys before. I wish I could have learned more.
Oh, it's a shame that nobody knows Gary David.
Yeah.
Gary David was probably one of the last of the strip club comics. But the difference is he knew that if he didn't change his act, he was finished. Whereas all the other guys from that era still went out, and they didn't understand why the young comedy club audiences weren't digging him.
Yeah.
Gary David did. You know, so Gary David, like, he had like missing teeth and a bad perm, and his mustache was yellow from nicotine cigarettes. And he'd come on stage. I know what you're thinking. He's old. I told my girlfriend, act your age, so she died. You know? So he came out and he knew to bang it up.
Yeah.
He knew he had to change. And as a result, he was great, and then he died. And when the pallbearers were like Mike Bullard, myself, Ron Vaudry, Mark Walker, you know, Wayne Fleming, R.I.P. He was my main road dog. So, you know, man, I sure know a lot of dead people. You know? You think I was a gangbanger or something? I'm gonna pour out some water for all the comics that ain't here no more. You know?
Yeah. Oh man,
I was in Montreal with Mike McDonald doing a show, and I think Steve Schuster had just passed.
Wow.
And a young comic says, "Doesn't it creep you out when you see that all your peers are dying?" And Mike just went, "Eh," and you know, because he had his liver problems and stuff. And me, I said, "Hey man, as long as I'm alive to read about the others, I'm still good." It's true. When they're reading about me and I ain't up there. They forgot to say something else that I did, you know. So, but everybody dies, and you know, it's we've been lucky. You know, Canadian comedy, we have not had as many casualties from the road. Yeah, you know, with all the vices and hard living that goes with it. We've been relatively lucky that we've escaped that.
Yeah, I only heard some negative stories from like Mr. Mo, who said there's a couple of comics who passed away because I guess they couldn't handle, you know, the comedy life. You know,
maybe they just couldn't handle life, and then comedy life just made it worse. Yeah. You know, they say they always talk about the depression of a comic. You know, comedians are very depressed people. Yeah. But if they weren't comedians, would they have still been depressed? Telling jokes ain't what made them depressed.
Yeah, that's true.
Their dad never loving them is what made them depressed. Being a fat kid in 5th grade and all the girls going, "Stay away from me, fat and stinky," that made him depressed. Yeah. Getting on stage to a bunch of drunks that you don't really care about at the end of the day ain't what depressed him. Now what depressed him is somebody not giving him money to make drunks all over the country laugh and give them that money. That may have got him, but, you know, that's the nature of the game.
Damn. Yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, it's all about your self-esteem, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, if I had money, I don't know if I'd ever go tell another joke. If you know, if I had lifetime CERB, Shoo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, jack it up a little bit every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you don't get to meet. I don't get to, but then again, I did miss most of all putting on a suit and tie and stepping out and having the women go, "Oh, you look handsome tonight." Ain't the same thing with Serb.
Yeah.
You go down, check the mail in your sweatpants. Hope they ain't stained in the front in case somebody in the elevator see you.
Yeah.
And you're going, I could get direct deposit.
Yeah.
But then that bill collector might put a freeze on me, so I'll just cash this check as I need it.
Yeah.
But if Serb had sex appeal, shoot, I need to tell a joke again. Or my friend Wayne Fleming, you say if I won a lottery, I'd only do shows that were special. I said if you won $10 million, what the hell would be special?
That's true.
Wouldn't be no special show.
Yeah, that's true.
We're sold out. And how much does it pay? How much do we make at the door? Not as much as you already have. Okay, then.
Do you? Can I ask you?
No.
Okay. You did mention Dave Chappelle, right? Sorry, we're gonna switch a little bit.
I mentioned Dan Aykroyd.
I know
Why
Dan.
you asking what Dan Aykroyd thinks?
I'll ask about Dan Aykroyd too.
Dan Aykroyd thinks a transgender. Is that what you're going to ask?
What do you think Dan Aykroyd thinks about transgender? No,
I don't know. He talked about people from Dan was accepting coneheads back before anybody else would accept coneheads. So I think Dan's probably very progressive on the subject.
Yeah. But how about this whole? I don't really think it's cancel culture, but this whole thing with
it's called if you offend me, I'm going to tell you about it. That's what it's called. And I love Dave Chappelle. I think he's brilliant. I wish he'd leave the alphabet people alone because he's got so many other things to talk about. But I ain't going to say I didn't laugh throughout that. I laughed throughout that whole thing.
Yep.
And I've got friends that I'm not going to say some of my best friends are, but I have friends. I know a lot of lesbians. I don't know why I know, because I keep hoping they set me up to threesome. But no, I know a lot of lesbians. So if it's gonna be, I just gotta keep my thoughts about Chappelle's humor to myself. If I want to remain friends with them. But he said stuff like when he said he got COVID and he didn't even feel sick. He's like, he said, I'm the Magic Johnson of COVID. That's funny. But because everybody, or not everybody, but because enough people were upset about other stuff he said, you don't even talk about what he said about he had COVID and he felt dirty about it. And he was walking around Texas touching doorknobs and passing out money. Here, take this to your family. That's funny. But then because of the other stuff, it doesn't matter how funny it is, it weighs it out, so it's but thing is, that's never going to end because he talks about how he's at the parking lot, my daughter is transgender, so he just keeps talking about the run-ins that he has with people because of what he said the special before. And that's not going to end. No. That's not going to end. No. So, but even though thing is, even if you watch the special, you could see with a gleam in his eye before he delivered something, he knew he was going to cause some trouble. Like when he said, I was molested as a child. And then when you're starting to laugh just now. I didn't even tell you the routine.
I know.
And he had that before he went to the joke. He give you that look, like I'm not supposed to say this. When he said space Jews, a look in his eyes. This could be anti-Semitic, but they're gonna be so worried about the other stuff. I'm gonna get away with it. So, and he kept saying, "I'm going all the way." So, and he said, "I'm not gonna be doing this. Is the last special I'm doing." Maybe he's sick of doing it. So he goes, hey, every time I do it, somebody's not happy. So maybe he just wants to make documentaries that he can't get shown at any festivals now. That's why you got to pay $400 to see him and his movie at the Air Canada Center. Y'all gonna watch a home film. And then Dave's gonna come out.
Do you kind of feel like this is one of the reasons why Eddie Murphy hasn't come back?
No. Eddie started making movies. And, Eddie, when you're making movies, you make more money in one day of shooting when you're at that level than if you did, a whole week of comedy shows. So plus Eddie's whole life changed. I mean, how many kids you got? 57 or something?
Probably, So
he went from fist fighting Nick Nolte.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yep, you did.
To talking to animals.
Yep, you did.
To getting fat and being Hercules.
Yeah.
To being an old Jewish man with Arsenio in the background. To being an African king.
Yep.
So, to having a daycare center.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Eddie's done all this stuff.
Yeah.
So Eddie, you got time for stand-up? He hasn't had time to think of a joke.
But you always hear rumblings of him like dropping to the Comedy Store, like him doing a set. But like I think everyone's hoping that he'd come back for just one more tour, I guess.
Well, and there's rumors that he was.
Yeah.
But even now, like the stuff he did in Delirious and Raw, when he was homophobic, he's apologizing, he shakes his head, and he's almost 60 now.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't want to see 60-year-old Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie gonna talk about, so then my granddaughter, he poo-pooed on me. Poo-poo, so I mean what is old Eddie gonna talk about?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Whereas I would have loved to have heard old Richard, because Richard, the movies was just something to grab that money. Richard was stand up, live and die. Even when he was dying from multiple sclerosis, he was still out there trying to go on stage and do his thing. So it's different. I mean, some comics, Mort Saul, 94, and just died the other day. And some people said, I seen him, and he was past his prime. He was 89. You're lucky that he didn't have a nurse changing him on stage. Come on, people.
Yeah.
But, it's, I'm 63. I'm still trying to go out there and bang new material.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to, in fact, it's easier to do new material now because after COVID and being old and drinking a lot of stuff out of aluminum back in the 70s, I don't remember a lot of old material.
Yeah.
So when I go, and if I got to do a show that's an hour long, I can't, I'm saying, I remember the punchline. You don't need a setup. So then I said, why don't you beep? Oh, well, anybody ever beep, beep, beep? Thank you, yes. Somebody said, well, he's not as good as he used to be. Well, I used to do setups. So I mean, comedy, you gotta keep your chops, your chops sharp. You gotta keep your chops sharp.
Yeah. Well, a couple last questions, Kenny.
No, you stay all night. Okay. There's no security here.
It's true.
He shook my hand. I'll shake his hand on the way out again.
It's true. It's true.
Kenny Robinson, friend to the working man.
Yeah. For you, like, who were you a fan of when you were growing up, besides Richard Pryor? Like, when you get into the comedy game, who were you a fan of watching?
Well, as a kid, I loved Jonathan Winters.
Yeah.
I used to always love all the impressionists. Frank Gorshin, Rich Little, Paul Frees. Paul Frees used to do a lot of the cartoon voices, so I love them. And when I was in grade 7 and we used to play the dozens, now they call it roasting. But we used to play the dozens or signify. Don Rickles was a favorite because he was such a great guy with insults.
Oh my God,
So I love them. I love Dick Gregory from the minute I decided I want to be a professional comedian. Lenny Bruce and George Carlin are influences. Sam Kinison made me stand back and watch and say, I'm not toning down. These people walk out and the owner tells me, no, I don't think so. Sorry, Howard. I don't think I'll be toning it down. So, so I mean, there's been Paul Mooney, Cat Williams. I love. I love Wanda Sykes. Marcia Warfield. I've always thought highly of.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. He can go to Vegas, as far as I'm concerned. I could have been big time. Red Fox was a big influence. In fact, Red Fox may be more of an influence on me than everybody I mentioned without me realizing. Sometimes I'm on stage and I'll just catch the way I'm standing and the way I'm delivering, and I'll go, Red's inside you right now, man. How'd that happen? How'd you let? Why? How come you never let Jerry Seinfeld and his $33 billion inside you? I don't know, man. You never wondered what was that about. What's with I've always had a love for the obscene, for the profane, for the nasty. That's always been the thing. Tracy Morgan.
Oh wow.
Makes me laugh. like two idiots in a pant pooing contest.
Yeah.
You know, because he'll just perfect example. I mean, the best stuff that makes me laugh the hardest. I can't. A, I can't repeat it, and B, I should be ashamed for liking it.
Yeah.
But perfect example of how Tracy Morgan just kills me. He was on Letterman shortly after Bin Laden was killed.
Oh yeah.
And Tracy goes, "I got him, Dave." And Dave says, "You did you, Tracy?"
Yeah.
I snuck up on him with my 38. So I start laughing because with a 38, nobody uses them. Everybody's got Glocks.
Yeah.
They got AKs. They got ARs. And Tracy says he snuck up on him with his 38, like you caught him trying to steal your tape deck and shot him. You know.
Yeah.
And that was just that silliness and that stupid side of Tracy Morgan that kills me. Canadian comics that I love, John Paul makes me laugh. Darren Frost, my partner in crime on the road.
Yeah.
The night I fell in love with Darren, I couldn't breathe. And I was smashing the table. I was sitting on with my fist trying to get my breath back.
Yeah.
You know, I love what he does. Cedric Newman's gotten very funny.
Oh yeah.
Arthur Simeon, I don't think anybody as highly as I do Arthur Simeon.
Yeah.
You know, Selma Hindi.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Is a bad. She's going,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you, Selma's something else.
Yeah.
You know. Also, Alicia Brown.
Yeah.
Aisha Brown's a killer. Excuse me. Hunter Collins is a bad boy.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Let's see. There's so many. I don't want to.
You don't want to leave anyone out.
The kid that books the Bovine Club, Lyle.
Wow. Kyle Lucy.
Kyle Lucy.
Yeah.
You know, he brings some chops to the table.
Yeah.
You know, still gonna watch him grow some more. A kid that I love, and he just disappears, and then he'll show up on the night of a JFL showcase. Can I get on? No. Kevin Herod.
Oh, I never heard of him.
Okay, yeah.
Kevin Herod decided he found out there was more money and more fun DJing in the strip clubs. Then he goes, I don't want to do Kitchener again. I've done Kitchener 12 times. Well, that means they like you.
Yeah.
I know people that only got to play Kitchener once, and they said, don't send that chump back. You know, but, you know, I mean, he's physical, and he's unpredictable, and I could just sit and watch and laugh at that idiot all night long.
Yeah.
And the boy don't come around often enough.
Yeah,
you know, so, I mean, there's a lot of Mark Walker, good friend of mine, great impressionist.
Yeah.
Out there, you know, he's out there in Nova Scotia, back in the Halifax area now. Gave up on Toronto. The rent's just too damn high.
Yeah.
You know, there's Lisa Baker out of Calgary.
Oh yeah.
I love Fiona O'Brien.
Oh yeah. I love
Katie
it.
Davis.
Oh yeah.
There's somebody else. Coletti. What's his name? Hisham?
Hisham Kaladi?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never get his name right, but I love him.
Yeah, same here.
I'm glad I'm not his lover. What's my name? Barbara? No, it's Barb. Barbara? No, Barber? No, Barbara. Barber? Barbara. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I guess I had a stroke or something. Can't get names right or something.
Right.
You know, but I mean, you know, I think he's gonna be big time. That bit he does about his mom with 9 confirmed kills, which is on the next 25, the Nubian 25th year anniversary CD. He's on there. He is a killer. Paul Thompson, like I said, is a killer. You know, so there's Chris Robinson, as I mentioned, is a killer. You know, so Mark Trinidad. Jostle.
Yeah, Ron Jostle. Can I ask you about?
I've mentioned everybody 3 times.
I know.
Kenny's about to take off his shoes to name comics he hasn't named yet.
Yeah.
This little piggy never went to Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say a couple more.
We haven't let you speak at all tonight, did we?
Yeah.
It's all right.
He's enjoying the show.
I'm enjoying this.
You see the trouble you would have had with me if you had ever booked me? He's gone over, and he's not paying any attention to the red light. What should I do, Lawrence? He'll say, I don't know. He'll call Bob Keel up, so just leave him alone. You heard that story, eh?
Yeah, I heard that story.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't heard it, but I'll hear it off the show. Joe,
We're out of time?
No. Joseph, how much time do we have?
All the time in the world.
Oh, he says keep going.
Keep going.
He's just enjoying everything. I don't know
So
about
anyway,
you.
Bob Keel.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't get any coffee on the way in.
Yeah, I know.
I saw that. I didn't want to be late.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So I saw the Tim Hortons.
Yeah, I know.
I said, man, get you a coffee.
Yeah.
But aren't you glad I don't have caffeine? Got me wired?
No.
I'm usually in bed by now. I'm old.
Sorry.
I cry when I say I got to do 2 shows in the same night. You know. So
Yeah. Well, Kenny, I don't want to keep you here for too long. You know. But I did notice a name you didn't mention, Mr. Bill Cosby. Is he?
I never liked him.
Really?
He stole my girlfriend.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
I said, look, baby, you just take a little nap. I'll be right back. And I'll come back. No.
Yeah.
See, I never liked Cosby because I was a disciple of Pryor.
Yeah.
See, and I always loved, I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from Cosby.
Yeah.
He great talent, great comedic skills. I paid to see him, and he could just sit on a chair and just spin out 90 minutes easier than you could chew a pack of gum.
I know. I witnessed that. It's
You know,
scary.
the man was brilliant.
Yeah.
But the thing about Bill, see, my whole life, people will come up to me after his show and say, Bill doesn't have to say the N-word. He said, Bill Cosby doesn't have to say MF and F and P and all them other words.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not talented like Bill Cosby.
Oh, gross.
So, and I hear that. And I wish I could find these people.
Yeah.
And I could say, so you tell Bill that Kenny never had to put a pill in a girl's drink so he could get some of that. You know, so I never had to dope nobody. Yeah, okay, I had to be dirty to be funny because that's what I think is funny.
Yeah.
You can't punish me because that's what I enjoy. I love political humor too. I've died doing corporate gigs doing political. Because if they're not liberal, they ain't gonna want to hear what I'm saying. And I've had liberals upset. I did some anti-squeegee material when I was at a fundraiser at when it was called Roy Thompson Hall or the O'Keefe Center for Mayor Barbara Hall.
Oh.
I talked about squeegee people, and because they're homeless in the audience, which we must do everything for the homeless except let them live near us. So the fact that I was slapping squeegee people, it was like the people that even hired me for the show didn't want to talk to me in the lobby afterwards. And it wasn't even hired; it was done for free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I've alienated. I remember years ago they were trying to have a censorship bill in Canada, Bill C-54.
Oh yeah.
And there was this is like in the 80s, and I remember wanting to be on it, and they said no, we don't really care to be associated with the likes of you.
Oh my God.
So I said, oh, so you because of what I say. So even though you're against censor, I'm against censor, but you don't want me to be on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not the person they wanna, to sing "Kumbaya" with.
Yeah.
Just because I changed the words a little bit.
Yeah. How about that guy? I forgot the comic's name, but he just got recently sued, or not recently, but he got sued a couple years ago because he made fun of a kid who was disabled, I believe.
Was that Mike Ward?
Yeah,
Mike Ward.
Yeah.
Well, two things. I don't think that any comic should ever be taken to a human rights tribunal.
Yeah.
That's not what they were formed for. Human rights tribunals were formed for if I owned an apartment and you came and I saw that you were not of the same complexion as me, and I said to you, ignorant enough to say, no, we only rent to my kind. Like, you're pretty dumb and ignorant to give somebody your excuse. Nope, I'm a racist. You gotta be really dumb. Or somebody's not hired because of that, or denied service in a restaurant. Sorry, we don't serve your kind. You know,
Yeah.
that's what they were built for.
Yeah.
Not because you felt that, you know, your feelings were hurt. On the other hand, I understand the satire he was making. How come this kid hasn't died yet? He's been dying for 15 years now. You know, he sang with the Pope. How come he hasn't died? I thought the kid was dying. Why hasn't he died yet? I hope he dies soon. Whatever Mike Ward said.
Yeah.
You know, to pick on a sick kid, you know, is, I mean, okay, you know the kid that shot them people in Wisconsin that's on trial now?
Yeah.
He looks like a chromosome short.
Yeah.
But I don't say that about him.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you know why? He's a chromosome short.
Yeah.
So on top of having a mother, let me drive you to another state with an automatic weapon.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can kill someone. I sure hope I get me a couple.
Oh, God.
I'm going can hunting. African. You know, so and they wound up shooting white people. Imagine that. Next time. Better luck next time, Bob. So, you know, but I mean, you know, the kid looks a bit off.
Yeah.
There are videos of him fighting girls. Okay, so he's an incel.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I would not use, the kid did enough things for me not to, you know, pick on how he looked a little bit off to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, in fact, I've never mentioned it until I come and did it here on your radio show, and I've ruined your show and finally managed to cancel my own career.
Don't worry.
Nobody listens.
No one listens.
Yeah, no one listens. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why I've never been canceled,
Yeah.
because no one ever comes to see me. If they did, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
That's if a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, does it get canceled? Probably not.
Yeah. Unless it's
Only if they blog about it.
Yeah, exactly. How come the Nubian never gone on tour? Like
It has gone on
No,
tour.
but like more frequently, like every year.
First of all, it's an expensive tour. Because I bring more than 3. I mean, even, you know, we did do a Nubian show at Winnipeg Comedy Festival, but, you know, I did not have all the say on who was booked on there and what have you, so it wasn't a true Nubian show.
Yeah.
So we've had, you know, we've done shows in Montreal and Ottawa. And then then they go, well, we can do a show without Kenny. And what you've done is you've gotten other comedians of color on the same night.
Yeah.
But it ain't got that soul.
Yeah.
It ain't got that funk.
Yeah.
It ain't got that heartbeat to it. You know, so you people that tried to imitate or try to cash in, you failed. You have failed. You have failed. You probably aren't listening, but I will get a copy of this and I will send it to you just so that you and all your ancestors know what a failure you managed to be. So it's an expensive show, and also you got to look at demographics.
Yeah.
You know, how many, it's hotel rooms, airfare. How are we going to get to Calgary?
Yeah.
How are we going to get to Edmonton?
Yeah.
You know, and then you get to Vancouver. And, I just found a black Facebook group in Vancouver.
Oh.
And they say, where can I get pistachios? So, I mean, I don't know if we're going to sell too many tickets in that market.
Yeah.
If we had some help in Nova Scotia, we probably could.
Yeah.
But, that's, they're going like, well, we're still trying to get paid for Africaville. We can't afford comics to come in from Toronto. But if you come here, you could stay at Pookie's house.
And now let's go back to the Comedy Hall of Fame, Canadian Comic Hall of Fame. Who would be your first ballot entries?
My first ballot probably be different than everybody else. Okay, I mean, there's so many. I mean, you go with David Steinberg. He was Second City stand-up producer now. He's got a book out all the time.
Yep.
Big time back in the days of the Smothers Brothers. So you'd have to look at him. How could you not talk about, Wayne and Schuster? They had their TV show that back when we only had 3 channels in Canada, and one of them was French.
Yep.
And they probably dubbed Wayne and Schuster into French, so that we can laugh too, huh? So I mean, you got to have them. Lorne Michaels,
Oh, of course.
who from Toronto, and started Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Everybody that was with SCTV, you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to consider. And then going even before then, because I was probably living in Chicago when there were other people. I mean, they at our meetings they mentioned people that were on CBC Radio. Dave Broadfoot. I mean, you'd have to, how could you not start off with Dave Broadfoot?
Yeah.
So before you get to any of those, now there's people like I know Norm Macdonald. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. I mean, we're still trying to get it together. Norm Macdonald's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald should be a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, not a question.
Yeah.
Harry Mandel, he'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to see McLean and McLean.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, they were arrested for obscenity back in 1971. So everything that happened to Lenny Bruce and George Carlin happened to these two boys from the upper parts of Nova Scotia.
Wow.
And and then they moved to Winnipeg and they played all the biker bars and they recorded their albums at the El Macombo, and Burton Cummings had them clap for the Wolfman in the background. And I had a date with a girl that I had a crush on for a whole year, and they were so filthy, and I was so embarrassed. And I said, I was going to kiss her, but now y'all been talking dirty, and just bring on Lighthouse. Just bring on Lighthouse. But then I said, man, that was wrong what he said. And then, then they're singing their filthy songs, and then later on after I kissed the girl goodnight, woo, glad we got that out of the way. Then I try to remember what those filthy songs were.
Yeah.
And I opened for them a couple years, when I got into comedy. It was so funny because in Winnipeg and Transcona, I lived on Dowling Street, just down the street from them. Mm-hmm. So, so last time I seen one of them, I worked for them, they said, we're going to get out of here because we got arrested in Kitchener.
Oh, God.
Said, he looked at me, raised his eyebrow, but next time we get together, we're going to do lots of hard drugs. And then they were gone.
Gosh.
So then I think it was Blair's widow sent me a copy of his book.
Oh.
I think it was Blair. Yeah. And they're talking about how back in Nova Scotia, they used to throw rocks at the N-words. The N-words then had rock fights.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, damn, I wish I knew y'all lived down the street from me. We could have threw rocks at each other. They were grown men, and I still would have been a teenager, so I would have been able to run better.
Yeah.
They would have had more drunken backup, though. They would have had the bouncers. In fact, it was so funny when their road manager was a cat named Tiny that used to be a bouncer at the bar in a part of Winnipeg I grew up in called the Pandora Inn, and he always asked me for ID. I was underage.
Yeah.
And he never let me in. So then when I seen him, when I met him as an opener, I said, "You wouldn't let me in." He goes, "You and a lot of other people." I said, "He ain't sorry. This man ain't got no regrets. You're canceled."
Oh, Kenny, this has been a true honor. Hopefully I can have you back on the show.
I'm not coming back. Too hard to figure out where the hell you guys are. We're in the lobby. I'm walking over. Going the other direction.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry for the misdirection.
Plus, I started getting Deb's House of Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Deb's Comedy Den flashbacks being in this neighborhood.
So, yeah.
Have you talked to her lately?
Not recently. I've talked to her, but not recently. I know she's hurt her leg again, and she's still doing Sunset. I keep telling her not to do it.
Are the shows still going?
No, they stopped. She wants to make another comedy club, though, Kenny.
Well, it's been a pleasure being here, and hopefully you'll have me back.
No, I'll definitely have you back.
What are you doing now that you're not booking the clubs at Absolute?
I'm just trying to do shows. I'm just trying to work as a comic now.
Yeah. It's tough. Eh?
It's so tough.
It sucks.
It's
Big Daddy Taz out in Winnipeg. Salute.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Taz reading children's stories every day during the pandemic.
Oh, God.
Just to keep from losing his mind.
Oh, God.
Plus, he's a beautiful soul.
Oh, I think I saw that on CBC.
Maybe.
They did like a moment on him where he was just reading
every
reading
day.
books.
Every day, and every day people were sending him books to read.
Wow.
And we just live stream it.
And,
gosh.
And then he was yelling T-shirts, always be kind, or so. He's almost like Captain Cam. I say, well, excuse me.
Yeah.
See, you don't have to worry about COVID.
Yeah.
because that's a wet,
Yeah.
fluidy cough.
Yeah.
If it was dry, y'all both be dying. But it was a wet, lung buttery cough, and that's safe.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Just like, but you might want to change these mic covers.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. They get changed every show.
You think?
I hope so.
I smelled Greek food on this one when I sat down.
Joseph, come on. Enough of the Greek food. You know. But Kenny, this has been like I said, a true.
Did we go over time?
We have gone over time, but
How long? 10 minutes?
20 minutes. That's okay. Wow. We didn't get the light, so we're good.
There's a light?
I saw it. I just ignored it. I gave him 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Two more stories.
Yeah. But Kenny, tell us what's coming up for you. Was Nubian's coming back?
The biggest thing I can talk, everybody else's shows are doing good.
Yeah.
The Nubian show is November 28th. Mm-hmm. It's going to be John Paul.
Awesome.
Crystal Ferrier.
Well,
Cedric Newman.
Oh, my gosh.
Ronnie Edwards.
Whoa.
And Selma Hindi, folks.
Whoa, boy.
Okay. Tickets are $25. You must be maxed and vaxxed. Mm-hmm. But we're allowed to have more people in now. So before we said you had to buy a minimum table of 2. We are now selling individual tickets. So you just go to yuckyucks.com. Mm-hmm. Or if you have your pen and paper, people, I know you don't. 967-643. No, that's 416-967-6431. Yucks. And just say, I want tickets for the Nubian show.
Yeah.
And look forward. I mean, everybody's been saying, when's Nubian coming back?
Yeah.
We're back. Come see us.
There you go.
Because you know what? Everybody's got new material. If you don't have new material after a year and a half of waiting to get back on, I'm going to encourage the audience to boo that comic.
Well,
in fact, if somebody starts the booing on somebody doing old material, I mean, you can close with an old bit if it's no kill. But if you're still trying to open with what you opened to go a year and a half ago, if someone starts booing that comic, I will give them a free copy of our anniversary CD.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
It's a nice incentive for all the audience members out there.
And for you people that don't know anybody's material, you just start booing just for the sake of being booing, all you're doing is getting thrown out.
Okay.
No, we don't throw you out for booing.
Yeah. I wouldn't surprise unless you keep talking during the show. Then I'd say.
Even then, I think we only once in 25 years have we ever had to throw somebody out.
Really? Why? What was the reason?
Day was really bad, and then getting belligerent and offering to throw down with the staff.
Oh yeah.
So the police came. And you never see a room get quiet as when 3 Caucasian officers come in the front door. And everybody in there like, don't move. Hands up. I can't breathe. Hands up. Don't shoot. Hands up. Don't shoot. You know, so.
But Nubian, you can find this November 28th. Tickets, Yucks.
And then our next show's Boxing Day.
Ooh.
So for those of you that got new clothes and sick of your family, you got a place to come on Boxing Day.
There you go.
Yes. All right.
And then you can also buy the CD, right?
Yes, I'll have at least 3 copies of the CD at each show to sell. I can't put too many in my coat pocket.
Yeah. Is it on Spotify by any chance?
It's on Spotify. It's on it's on the CD Buddy. No,
okay.
CD Baby.
CD Baby.
There you go.
I don't know.
Apple Music.
There you go.
Yeah, it's on all those.
It's all the streaming platforms then.
Yeah, it's on all those platforms.
And then where can people find you, Kenny?
They can find me at Tim Hortons getting some coffee on the way out of here.
Yeah.
I'm at Fabulous. I'm at KennyRobinson.com, and but I don't go there often. And Instagram, Facebook, you know, sometimes it's Fabulous Kenny Robinson, other times it's just Kenny Robinson.
Okay.
But, you know, as you can tell, I'm not really doing so hot with it.
It's good.
Everybody knows to find me on Facebook. I'm on there 9 hours a day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, that's it? No other shows besides those two?
Oh, I got other shows, but,
those are the most important, though, right?
Friday night, I don't even know the name of the theater I'm playing, but I'm doing I'm doing Sabrina's show.
Oh, right.
What's that? When Black Girls Speak, or Things Black Girls Say?
Things
Black Girls Say. I'll be the non-black girl on this show.
That's great.
Things Black Girls Say. Yeah. You better not call me ever again. That's what they say to me.
Is that a comedy bar?
No, it's at a theater on Queen Street. It's part of this for arts festival.
Oh, the Comedy is Art.
Comedy is
yeah,
art.
There you go.
I did the show last night there with Jean Paul.
Oh, and how was that? Was that
Oh,
good?
it was great.
What's the name of that theater?
It's the Theater Center.
The theaters. See, about time you speak up. Theater Center, people.
It's the Theater Center.
And where is that?
It's at Queen and Dovercourt.
Queen and Dovercourt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Queen of Dover. I don't even know.
They got tickets online.
They
There you
just added extra tickets.
There you go.
Extra seats. Or if you can't make it, they do have a live stream of every show that's going on. So you can check out the Theater Center. I think it's theatercenter.com.
There you go.
Or just Google it.
There you go. Thank you, Kenny. And Ryan, how about you?
Thank you for telling me where I am tomorrow.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
It's a fun show.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, it's a small studio theater. It seats like maybe 25 people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's small.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought it was like 400 people
No.
coming to see me.
You might sell all 3 CDs, though.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not even bringing them. I thought it was gonna be like hundreds. I was ready. Come back.
Bring the whole box.
You go to hell, Dave Chappelle. There's a new sheriff in town. That's what I was getting ready to get. I got all kinds of material that I was getting ready to get canceled for saying. You know, I was gonna laugh at them Afghan people running after the plane taking off, acting like they just missed the TTC and they got transfers in their hands. I was gonna run down all that good stuff. But now I'm gonna do old material.
Yeah. Well, goodbye, Kenny. Tomorrow.
Afghan people chasing a plane is old. It's time to move on. I got to write something new for tomorrow.
It was great.
Let's get out of
It
here.
is. And sorry, just Ryan, do you have anything to show us a plug?
Yeah, I'll be at Absolute Comedy in Ottawa from November 9th to 15th.
Awesome. And people can find you at Ryan McGlennon.
At Ryan McGlutton.
All right, great. And you can follow me at Ricardo Comedian. I'll be at Kitchener, the Crazy Canuck restaurant in Waterloo. Kitchener. That's
Who
where I'm being
books that?
Kitchener. Sandy McFarlane.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
yet.
Rusty Nail.
Yeah, Rusty Nail.
Is that a good gig?
Really good gig.
Good money?
Well, for me, it's. I think for headliners, it's good money.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'd get great money.
I need someone to vouch for me. I don't know anybody.
Speaking of vouchers, no, I'm joking. We'll talk about that.
Oh,
maybe
how I don't accept vouchers anymore?
yeah, I heard about that. But we'll talk about that maybe some other time.
Yeah, I have to come back. We'll save that vouch conversation.
Vouch story. Yeah, it'll probably be a good 20 minutes discussion. And then follow me at Ricardo Community.
You don't even have to do a show next week. You just use half of this.
Exactly. I'll just. It's true. I do have I think I have to do a spot at the corner anyway next week. So
you just may have, get Joe to cut up everything the right way. You don't even have to come in.
I know, right? I think this is good for two shows at least. But yeah, follow Frequency 5 FM at Frequency 5 FM on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok. They're on TikTok as well. They're not on the banner. Call them at any time 647-857-4454. Sponsor us if you want. Email frequency5fm@gmail.com. Request songs if you want. Pearl Jam, whatever. BB King. I put a little BB King out there.
For me?
Yeah, for you. I put and then that's it. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Rich Little, Canadian Hall of Fame.
Oh, there you go. How about Mike Myers?